Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video from Buried One. Today's video I want to show you guys some really relevant topics that I saw on the internet and that were pretty much worth sharing and commenting on. So let's first of all start off with a banger, and I'm talking about literally a banger. Okay, so first of all, as you've seen, the US Navy is really pushing against narcotic vessels near Venezuela. And this is actually pretty interesting. The point where the United States is actually showing visually what they are doing to narcotic vessels that try to transport drugs into the United States is pretty darn heavy for some people to see. Why did I want to start the video with this one? It seems that everyone has no attention these days, and I was like, okay, we'll just put in the most aggressive video that we can find on the internet and put it into the video. Nah, we're just kidding. We do know that there is a big narcotics problem in the United States, and they just want to show the narcotics gangs that they're not playing around anymore. And I just wanted to show you guys this. And if you have some more interest in this topic, you can certainly find a video explaining why and how exactly this is going on and what they're being using, because they've been using some really fancy rockets to kill these ships within 2 seconds. And it's a really interesting topic to look deeper into for sure. So next up, there was actually a funny video that I saw. It was about how the entire country of Afghanistan was deleted from the internet. So within 1 hour or something, so some ordinary gamers made a video about this, a pretty long one, 15 minutes. So if you want to see that one, I'll put a link in the description below to his video about this. It just makes no sense that an entire country is cutting off the internet for the people. There's about 40 million people living and being inside of Afghanistan. So it is terrible. Can you imagine, like, you're just browsing the internet and suddenly in the morning or in the afternoon there's no connectivity, not even cell phone service. You can't even call police or something because the entire internet is just gone. It just doesn't make sense. And I was like, okay, they didn't really cover this on the news as usual, so I wanted to include this in the video. And I would say check out that video. It's pretty important, I think, for humanity to take a deeper look into what is going on, like what's the reason behind this. It's going to be an interesting topic if you see this video for sure. I do have my concerns about this one because our channel is pretty related to this kind of topics. We are a crypto channel, pretty much. We advise people to get into crypto in a fun, educative way, and most specifically GPU mining. And it seems to be that the UK is bombarding us with some really strange things all at once, like the digital identities, the freedom of speech that is going on, and now they're targeting the crypto regulation. So it is just really strange that this guy had to make a video, and I do think he comes from the United Kingdom. He said, like, okay, so basically what the United Kingdom's bank wants to do is limit people on how much crypto they can own. And in theory, they're even talking about you can only hold stable coins. So I do, and I said it before, I have this idea that they want to ban normal cryptocurrencies because they're pretty untraceable, but they're actually not untraceable. You can directly search the whole network if you want to, especially the NSA with their special software that I once seen. But it just means that they're pushing forward to transition from normal cryptocurrencies to stable coins and CBDCs. And the reason being that I make this video about this, and I will probably extend this with an additional video about this topic because it's a global thing that's going on. So the United States, or pretty much Donald Trump, has signed this treaty or some sort of paper or law that stable coins are responsible for keeping it stable. And if they are caught with money laundering or anything that has to do with instability, they can be sued or punished for their deeds. And basically, Tether and Circle are the ones that are pretty much targeted at this point, and they equivalent $1. And Donald Trump was like, okay, we need to transition to crypto. And I do have the feeling that Tether and Circle will be a manageable coin because it's not mineable by the people. And we have a centralized digital currency right there. Like, if you give everyone a certain crypto exchange wallet address, you can pretty much trace anyone. So if you make your own new address, well, then they would see it as like, okay, this is now linked to your personal name, and there's no privacy in that. So it's just the same as a bank account eventually, and they will know how much you have and stuff like that. So I do think that this is a global trend to get rid of the normal Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero kind of coins, and they want to transition to, okay, now that you have this crypto technology, why don't we use it as a government in a controlled, centralized manner? And I do think this transition is smart because we've been using Bitcoin for almost 20 years now. We're at like 17, 16 years. And the adoption of artificial intelligence went faster. The adoption of Bitcoin went faster. Even my grandma knows what Bitcoin is at this point, and she's 86 years old. So the transition between a new monetary system is like at our doorstep, and we can't unsee this. There is not a lot of people making videos about this, so I want to plant the seed that cryptocurrencies are pretty much in danger as you know it, because even if you had, let's say, $10 million worth of Bitcoins and the regularization of, or the, now I'm gonna say this, it's a hard one. So if your country decides that your Bitcoins are illegal to sell, for example, or buy, and in this case selling them, it just means that you would have $10 million in Bitcoins, but you can never transfer it to your bank account or spend it in some sort of way. So this is a big impact. So from one side, the mainstream media is praising this as it's really positive news for cryptocurrencies. But for my opinion, I think that this is a threat to cryptocurrencies. The reasons being is that if they are able to regulate your cryptocurrency usage and buying and selling, then there is no point of having cryptocurrencies, because when the exchanges are closing down for your country or your bank and you can't make transactions to an exchange, what do you do with the cryptos? Like, you see what I mean? It is a strange thing to think about, but it's a really subtle way of getting rid of the cryptocurrencies they can't manage. And that is probably what's going on. And I want to know what you guys think about this, because it concerns me in some sort of way. I've seen the transition from proof of work to proof of stake. There is no really good crypto mining proof of work coin at the moment for GPUs. It's more expensive with your electricity in most countries at this point, unless you're China, Russia. And it doesn't make sense that they are transitioning to the next step so quickly. And when you see the rollout of digital identities and everything like it, I do think it's linked together. So they want to link the digital identities to the CBDCs and the stable coins, let's say, first. And they will probably use the United Kingdom as an example. But one thing we have to remember is that the United Kingdom is pretty much the country that owned every single country in the world. I once saw a documentary of where you could actually see in how much countries the United Kingdom has ruled over. And I do personally think it was like 75% of the planet that the English people were conquering it back in the 1700s or so. And it just feels strange that they will target the country that was the most influential over the entire planet. So it raises some flags and even more questions. So that's why I want to make maybe a bigger video about that topic. So last but not least, I'm not going to go too deep into this because I'm not a United States citizen, but I do see that there is a government shutdown going on in the United States. Basically, it's not going to impact you so much. Belgium, for example, was the world record setter of having no government at all for a couple of years, I think. It doesn't harm the people so much. It just stirs up a little bit of the... Like, it feels weird, like hearing from your government that it's shut down. And if you don't know the context of what it does, it can feel scary, I would say. But if you actually know that it's just basically shutting down budgets and spendings of the government for a period of time, that's pretty much what's going on. So basically, I found out about the government shutdown of the United States from Scott Manley with his video about that NASA was shut down, because when the government shut down, the funding to NASA stops, because NASA is a government company. In theory, or government, whatever you call it, and they didn't get funding, so NASA is shut down. And the coincidence is that 3i Atlas is just flying around, and NASA needs to be as active as possible to research this space rock or space alien ship that's flying by. But no, at this very moment, we're going to shut down the government, and we're going to shut down the funding to NASA. So it doesn't make sense. Like, is this coincidence? Could be. So I wanted to make this video quickly for you guys. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think, because I really love your feedback. And in probably the next 2 videos or so, I will make videos based on your comments and show you guys what you guys think to each other. So that would be a nice touch, I guess. So see you guys in the next one. Hope you all enjoyed.